So here we are, the final of the Ultimate Supermarket Lager Championship. And what can I say? I'm so excited. I can't believe it. I can't wait. I can't believe this moment is finally here where one beer is going to be crowned the Ultimate Supermarket Lager. And it will be one of these two beers. We're going to introduce the beers one by one, and instead of having a look at the table as we would normally do, we're going to do that in two halves to show the routes that the two beers have had to the final. So the first beer we're going to talk about is the Lowenbrau, Münchner Hell, and what a route this has had to the final, let me tell you. It started off up against the Salter Helles, which, if I remember, it just romped past the Salter Helles. Salter Helles was an okay beer, but it wasn't a patch on the old Lowenbrau. Lowenbrau moved straight through into the second round, where it took on the Augustiner Edelstoff, and it... really close match thing, really good beers, both of them. One of the closest matches in the entire championship, quite possibly the closest match in the entire championship. But I got the beers the wrong way round. I thought I put through the Augustiner Edelstoff, and I didn't. I put through the Lowenbrau, which then got through to the next round, the quarterfinals, against the Spartan, in what has to be the closest matchup of the entire thing. I really could not make up my mind out of these two. The Spartan, I put through the one that I thought was the Spartan, and again turned out to be the Lowenbrau. A master of disguise is the Lowenbrau. That's all I can say. And then the Lowenbrau went up in the semi-finals against the Czech brewed Staropramen. And while the Czech brewed Staropramen is an absolutely amazing beer, it was no match for the Lowenbrau. The Lowenbrau was just better. It was just a nicer beer. Well, I say better. I preferred it, should we say. I'm not saying it's objectively better. I'm saying that I preferred it. And it went through to the final against some very stiff competition, I've got to say. That's the Lowenbrau. We'll talk about it more after we've talked about the route that the Augustiner had. Now, before I show you the route of this beer, I said about in the last video, I said about whether is it pronounced Augustiner or is it pronounced Augustiner. I've had a look, and a lot of beer reviewers are pronouncing it Augustiner. Some beer reviewers are pronouncing it Augustiner. Now I know that that the German for August is August, or August for August, so I'm going to continue to call it Augustiner just because I've always called it that, and I don't like a complete idiot because I think in German that's how it's pronounced. So we've got the Augustiner Brau München Lagerbier Hell. There you go, that's my best German. And let's talk about the Augustiner's route into the final. So the Augustiner took on the no, it didn't. It took on the Salter Pilsner first, which was again, it was quite I don't know if it was close, but the Salter Pilsner was a surprisingly good beer. Really nice beer it was. I really enjoyed it. It was really tasty, but it was up against the Augustiner Hell. But it really did give the Augustiner Hell, it made it hit the ground running, really, because that could have been an early knockout, but it wasn't. The Augustiner Hell moved through against the FS Draft. It absolutely walked over the FS Draft. It's a half decent beer, but that's it. It's a half decent beer, and that's all there was to it. Then it was up against the Hoxton in the quarterfinal. Hoxton I was quite impressed with until it came up against a beer like the Augustiner, and it just tasted too sweet. Let's face it, it tasted too sweet. It tasted too lemony. Tasted a little bit artificial, even though I know that's not the case. And the Augustiner just romped it, I think, against the Hoxton. And then he went up against what I thought would be its toughest competition so far, the Eyinger Hell. But really, it was nicer. It was nicer. It was a clear winner. It wasn't a million times better, but it was better than the Eyinger Hell, and that put it up in the final against the Lowenbrau. So what can I say? Should I say some more about these two beers? Yes, I'm going to say some more about these two beers. Both Münchner Hells, just the way it went. I do like the profile, like the nice, how balanced a Hell is. But a lot of the better beers in the championship were all Helles. There were some good Pilsners there, but there were only a couple of them, and they just didn't get through to the final. And these are the Hells that I'm always making excuses for the fact I do like a Helles. But at the end of the day, there's a lot of them around, and it just turns out that two German Helles beers ended up together in the final. So what can I say? We've got the Lowenbrau on the right. It's brewed by the same people as Spartan, which is, I'm not sure if I mentioned that before, but that's something I didn't know until recently. And I remember saying about the Spartan Lowenbrau matchup, about how great they both were, and how it'd be interesting to put them both in a big stein glass and and just drink what would be an amazing concoction of a beer. At that point, I didn't actually know that they were brewed by the same person, so maybe that is a beer review to come. The Spartan Lowenbrau Münchner Hell beer review. I don't know. But that's possibly an idea. I might do that for a laugh. But yeah, they're both brewed by the same people, and so is Franziskaner, if anyone didn't know that. And there you go. It's 5.2% ABV. It's done really well so far. It's very, very tasty. And what can I say? It's the underdog, I would say, going into this, just because it's not got quite the reputation as this. I don't think a lot of people who know good lagers it'll come to no surprise that this one is here. But at the end of the day, there were a couple of beers that you would think would be here and aren't. The Augustiner Edelstoff. If I'd have guessed a final, I'd have guessed this against the Augustiner Edelstoff, to be honest. And it didn't happen. And to be honest, this might not have happened. I got this in the Iyengar the wrong way around. It was just because this was better than the Iyengar that this got through, to be honest. So really, neither of the Augustiners could have ended up in the final. But this one is just too good. You can't stop it. Can the Lowenbrau stop it? The Augustiner is it's 5.2%. I thought it was 4 point something. No, these are both 5.2% ABV. They are both, if I remember rightly, as crisp as anything. They are both cracking. They are both amazing beers. I can't wait to see which one's going to win. Now, I'm going to explain the format in a minute, but I'm going to get these guys poured into glasses, but they're going to be different glasses than I've done so far. Although it's going to be blind, but I'll explain more in a minute when they're poured out. See you in a sec. So here we are back with full pints. Now I forgot when I asked for full pints to be poured, I forgot how little room there's going to be in the top. But here we go, full beers in these glasses again. Because, you know, I'm going to live with these beers for a bit. And if I'm living with a German Helles, I'm going to live with one in a glass like this. So, I've got enough room to swill, and I'm going to be doing nosing, I'm going to do tasting, I'm going to be doing nosing again, I'm going to be doing some more tasting. Yeah, this one's narrower than this one. I haven't got two identical Helles glasses, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. I don't think the thinness of the head of the glass is going to affect the flavour too much. So, let's have first of all, let's tell you which one's which, because this is blind, I don't know which one's which, but I'm going to tell you guys which one's which, and I'm going to tell you now. Okay, that was which one was which. So, let's have a little look at these two beauties. So, we're looking at them, and they're looking the same. This one has got more bubbles rising than this one, but they've both got very few bubbles rising. They're not massively carbonated. They had a reasonable head when they were poured, but they had to be poured in stages because the head went right up to the top before the whole beer was poured, and I did say, make sure you pour the whole beer. So, yeah, they're crystal clear. You can see my face through both of them. And what can I say? But it's not all bad. There's also good bits about these beers. So, let's have a little look. What can I say? Same colour, pale straw, crystal clear, not much bubbles rising through the middle. Looks like it's going to be smooth as anything. Heads going down, clinging to the side of the glass. Both got very similar head. Both got, it's not too fluffy, it's not too creamy, it's just kind of like somewhere in the middle. Okay, I'm going to get a nose on this one now. So let's have a nose on this one, see what I can get on it. Have to go on the bottom really to try it. Right, here we go. That smells amazing. Smells really good. Smells malty, it smells zesty, it smells a bit lemony. It smells like it's going to be really refreshing. This, I mean, this in the garden, a beer that smells like this in the garden on a really hot day, ice cold. Oh wow. Yeah, it's malty, it's lemony, it's a little bit bready. Trying to think if there's anything else I'm getting there. A little bit, it's quite fresh, a little bit floral. Smells a teeny bit rustic. It smells amazing. Smells great. Okay, let's smell this one now. So let's do again. Go underneath. Hang on, let's put the handle over here. There we go. Let's go underneath. Ooh, bit of swill. Can't swill that one very well. Ah, different. This one's a bit different. It's got a slightly different smell to it. Smells a bit more rustic. This one. It's not quite as clean and. Smells a little bit. It smells more interesting. Smells more bready. This one's a bit more. This one's more bready than that one. That one's a bit more lemony. It's almost a teeny hint of orange in it. A little bit syrupy. I've certainly got more of a malty backbone to it. Might have another smell on this one. Yeah, I mean, if you want really crisp and refreshing, this smells like it's going to be really crisp and refreshing. I mean, that one's got a little bit of that oranginess and a little bit of that, almost like marmalade. A bit of spice, a bit of marmalade and spice there. If you're from the north of England, it's almost like an Eccles cake kind of smell. That's a bit weird, isn't it? Almost like the Eccles cake spice smell, or Chorley cake, if you're from Chorley. That's weird though, yeah, a little bit of raisins and stuff, that kind of, yeah, like Eccles cake, Chorley cake kind of aroma, if anyone knows what they are. This one's a bit more bready, a bit more wholemeal bread. But again, a bit more of that raisin spice in the background on that one. How strange. I've never had those kind of smells come from these beers in the previous rounds, so it's interesting how the day makes a difference to what they're like, what you taste. Let's have a little swill on this, because I'm going to start drinking in a minute. One on the right's going first, in the Zillertal glass. Here we go. Cheers. Okay, this is going to be hard. That's so good. This is going to be really hard. So, what am I looking for here now? So these have warmed up a bit, which is great. I'm getting the flavours now. There's a lot more malt in the flavour on this one. I'm getting malt. I'm getting a lovely biscuity aftertaste. That kind of biscuity aftertaste I got with the Krombacher, with the Singha, with the Warsteiner. A bit of bitterness coming down the sides there. Not massively bitter, a little bit there. Tiny bit of sweetness as well. Very smooth mouthfeel. And as I say, the beautiful finish. Nice bit of malt going through there. A little bit of a dry bite, but not really. A little bit soft possibly on the bite there. Possibly might like a little bit more of a dry bite. A bit of dryness though on the finish. Cracking. Absolutely cracking. I really have to clutch at straws now. I really have to be really nitpicky now when it comes to any negatives, because these beers, they're both going to be perfect, let's face it. So let's swill. Let's dive into this one. Cheers. That's interesting. That one smells. This one smells maltier. This one tastes maltier. That's got more of a bit of a bit more of a dry bite. So I'd say that's a point to that one over that one. This one has got the dry bite. And still got a nice finish as well. But I think this has got more flavour in the middle than this one. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. But I'm going to live with these beers for a little bit longer, because it's about going from one beer to the other. So on initial impression, that makes it look like 2 for that and 1 for that. Oh, it's a nice finish on that though. Very nice finish. Both got a really nice finish. That's got a bit more dryness on the arrival. That's got a bit more flavour in the middle. But that one is getting a bit more flavour as it warms up. Do I know which one is which? On the smell, I thought I knew which one was which, but now I don't know. So let's live with these beers for a little bit longer. I could talk about my experiences with these beers. I don't know which one's which, but I mean, Lowenbrau, as I've said before, is a beer that I've been drinking for 20 years. 20 years? Yeah, about 20 years. I used to love it back when it was in cans, 4-packs of cans from Morrison's. And then I loved it when I went to Austria and they had bottles of Lowenbrau there. Although it did taste a bit different. It was a bit more, had a bit more to it, the stuff in the bottles. And then, you know, hadn't had it for a long time because couldn't get hold of it. Realised they had it in booths, started getting it again in booths, and what can I say? I realised I drank a lot more of this than this one. Yeah, since I've been drinking it in booths, I always thought it was pretty decent. It wasn't my go-to beer in booths, to be honest. I would have picked an Augustiner or a Spartan or even an ABK over the Lowenbrau. You know, I always thought of it being a bit lower in stature to those kind of beers. But this taste test has proved otherwise. It's proved that it's, you know, it's up there with the big boys. It really is. So, Augustiner. When did I first see? I would have first seen Augustiner in a bottle shop probably. I probably would have been in a bottle shop and thought, wow, that's an interesting looking lager. Let's get some of that. And I thought it was brilliant. And I think that was the only place you could get Augustiner and Iyengar and things until I realised that they had them in booths. And there you go, booths. Booths is the saviour. If you're up north, booths is the saviour of all beer lovers, I think. The craft selection's pretty decent. They have stuff that they don't have at other supermarkets, but it's the lagers and it's the ales as well. Not that I'm a spokesperson for booths, but you get yourself down to booths. If you've not already been down there, the amount of real ales and stuff they've got is immense. They've got so many lagers from around the world. They've got all kinds of other things. You can even get Rochefort 6 in booths, which is amazing. And there's other kind of things. I think you can get like Creek Boone, I think, from things like that. Is it Creek Boone? Something like that. And some of the other strange ones, strange like, you know, lambics and stuff like that, and all kinds of stuff. The amount of stuff they've got is amazing, and that's where I first, well, realised they had this, and now if I want a decent lager, that's where I'm going to go. Yeah, I mean, what am I saying? I'm drinking these at the moment. Which one I'm preferring? I don't know. At the end of the day, it is going to go down. It's going to come down to the same thing as the other championship, and that's if I could just have another one of these. So let's say I've got another bottle of each of these in the fridge. I can only drink one of them tonight. Which one's it going to be? That's the thing. That's what's going to swing it. Which one would I rather drink out of these two tonight if I could only have one more? I'm just about to go to bed. I want one beer before I go to bed. Which one's it going to be? Assuming I have to pour the other one down the sink, even though that would be wrong. But obviously, if I could save one till the morning, doesn't really mean much, does it? So, you know, one of these I've got to pour down the sink. The other one I get to drink tonight before I go to bed. Which one's it going to be? Which one do I save? Now, so that one has got an immense aftertaste. It really has. It's a little bit soft on the arrival. Got a nice bit of flavour in the middle. You can tell both of these are 5.2%. They've got a little bit more body to them than your average like 4.5 or whatever, or even your 4.8. This one's got a little bit more carbonation, and that's a good thing, really. This one's possibly a little still. It's very smooth. It's going down so easy, but it's possibly a little still. Whereas this one's got a little bit more vibrantness to the body. They're both so refreshing. This one's got a little bit more to it. It's a little bit rougher, a little bit more ready, a bit more dryness, a bit more bitterness. Finish is not as nice as this one though. This is so hard. This is so hard. What can I say? I've talked about my experiences with both of these beers, even though I don't know which one's which. What to say, you know? I don't know if I gave anything away then when I was talking about the beers as to which one I think's which at the moment. But I made my mind about which I think is which right at the beginning. Although that's not really affecting what I think, because I might be wrong. I don't actually know which is which out of these two. I won't lie, I really don't know which is which. I'm just going to think about which I prefer. I prefer the taste to this one than this one. But this one's got a little bit more dryness, a little bit more bitterness, which is the thing that's giving this points. This one's got a better finish and a better taste, which is what's giving this one points. Well, that one's got a bit. That's quite dry as well, to be honest. These are both so amazing. I'm going to really struggle to decide. But I will be deciding soon because I've nearly drank 2 pints of beer and I've not decided yet, which is strange. But this is why I did the full pints, because I knew it would take 2 full pints to actually decide, to help me decide which of these is better. So I'm going to really think about which one's better now, because we need to end this video. Well, we need to get to the last bit of this video, and we need to think about which one is going to be the winner. Which one's going to be crowned? Should we have a joint crown, the two of them? Joint crowned. Augustiner and Lowenbrau. No, of course not. We're going to choose one. And which one are we going to choose? So let's decide here and now which one's going to go through. Nice bitterness, a little bit dry, beautiful aftertaste, decent flavour in the middle. What about this one? Should I have another swill? No, I'm going to go straight to this one. It's a bit drier, this one. It's a bit more bitter. It's got a different aftertaste, which is quite nice. It's not got as much flavour. Still not got as much flavour though. It's I am leaning towards this one. They are both so good. Yeah, they're both so good. And I'm just having so much trouble. I know you lot don't want to see me just sitting here drinking lots and lots of lager, or maybe you do. But you know, you want me to cut to the chase. You want me to decide which one of these is going to win. But it's like, which one? It shouldn't matter to me, because I don't really know which one's which out of these. So I should just be able to say, oh, eeny, meeny, that one. You know, go for it. But I've got to decide. I've got to make the decision. I've got to make an educated decision. I can't just say, oh, pick that one. You know, what does that happen to be? So here we go. I'm going to have one more taste on each, and then I'm going to make a decision, because at the end of the day, these both deserve the crown. Tell you what, I'm going to do swill again. Going to go with this one. I'm not sure if I'm letting which I think is which influence my decision here, because I'm preferring this one and I want this one to win. And it's a shame really, because I feel that if I tell everybody that the Lowenbrau is the best beer that you can buy in any supermarket, I'm going to get a lot of hate. Because it's the Augustiner. But again, that's not what this taste test is about. And at the end of the day, I don't know which is which, alright? I think this is a Lowenbrau. I think this is the Augustiner. And I shouldn't let that stop me putting through, stop me crowning the one that I think is the Lowenbrau as the best beer. So there's three things possibly at play here before I make my final decision. Either I like the taste of Lowenbrau and always have, which makes me a bit weird because maybe other people don't agree with me, or this is Lowenbrau and it's just a better beer, or this is not the Lowenbrau and I don't have a clue what I'm talking about. And let's have a see. This one's behind at the moment. It's got more bitterness, it's got more dryness, but it's not got a huge amount else. Thanks for bearing with me, by the way. This is it's fun for me. This obviously drinking 2 pints of lager and while talking to a camera. I hope it's fun for you guys as well. I hope the tension has you on the edge of your seats here now, trying to decide. Well, I'm deciding here. Well, I'll get steadily more drunk. This one's better, but there's a bit of wet flannel in there though. That's bizarre. That's a bizarre statement, isn't it? Really, bit of wet flannel in there. There's a bit of wet flannel in there as well. It's bizarre. It's really bizarre. They are. I mean, I don't know why I got wet flannel. I mean, wet flannel is obviously. I think it's just that kind of rustic maltiness that I love so much in these beers. I don't know why. I've got the giggles now. Why I associate that with wet flannel, but there you go. But I'm nearly finished. I'm nearly out of beer, I've got to say. So I'm going to make a decision. So my first decision is I don't know which one of these is which. And my second decision is it's going to be all about the aftertaste, I think. I think these beers are so close to each other. It's like, this will not be the last time I do a lager taste test. I'm enjoying doing a lager taste test so much. Oh dear, I got a lot of gas now. I've not had a lot of gas though, considering I've just drank 2 pints of these. Which show out how ungassy these beers are, to be fair. They're both so smooth and they're both so crisp and they're both just clean as anything. It's just it's like tasting 2 glasses of water and trying to say which is better. Oh man, I'm running out of beer. What can I do? Oh man, I'm going to have to make a decision quickly. I'm starting to taste a little bit of a dirtiness in this. Okay, so here we go. Here we go. These are both starting to taste more similar. And it's probably because I'm going from one to the other, basically. So they're both, I can't choose between the two of them, really, at the moment. But, oh, I don't know though. I was going to say, this is going to be the winner, but this one, I'm getting a more interesting aftertaste from this one now. This is getting quite an interesting aftertaste. and that one's getting a bit more harsh. And that's the point, you see. I'm drinking these now, and I've drunk like nearly a full pint of each, and this one, that's the thing, you see. I've had 2 pints of lager now. Okay, so I'm on the way. As it in drinking terms, I'm on the way. I'm not well on the way, but I'm on the way. And the question now, when you're on the way, the question now is, which of these would you rather have another pint of? And this is starting to taste a bit harsh. This one is cracking still. And that's brilliant. I'm glad that I've drunk a full pint of each now, because that's swung it now for this one. So whatever this one is, it shows it's got more lastability, it's got more kind of, you know, if you want, well, it'd be a third pint, wouldn't it really, now, because I've had 2 pints. When you've had 2 pints of the beer, is the third pint going to taste just as good, just as interesting? Well, possibly not. It's going to taste a bit harsh, a bit one-dimensional. Yes, more interesting. It's still got more flavour. That one's. It's weird. It's bizarre. It's bizarre how things change, but that's why I'm so glad I did this. And I took so long to do this because, yes, these are both amazing beers. Yes, I would be happy to put either of these through. This one has kind of proved to me that it's a better lager. Really, like when you're thirsty and you've had nothing to drink all day. It's very easy for a lager to be appealing, for it to taste nice, for it to really give you what you need. However, when you've had a couple of pints and you want a lager that's going to just go down, that's going to be interesting, it's going to be refreshing, and it's going to have all those amazing qualities, this one really hits the spot better than this one. So I think that I've done a really good time. I hope you've enjoyed watching this, because it's been quite a long one. I've really enjoyed doing this. It's really opened my eyes to these 2 beers, because I was totally for putting this one through. But now, with literally a sip left of both, I've had a few goes now on both of these, and this one every time has been absolutely nailing it. And maybe that's why this beer, if it is what I think it is, does actually have the reputation it has. If these are the wrong way round, then that's a double score for the other beer. But I'm going to say it now. This is the winner. This is the best beer you can buy in a supermarket. And I think that I will be crowning the Augustiner Lager Beer Hell as the ultimate. I think this is the Lowenbrau, and it almost did it. But I could be wrong. I could have them the wrong way around, and we will find out when I come back in just a sec. And I'm back, and I know now what is going to happen, and anybody who took the spoiler earlier on will know as well. This one, move it over here. This is the winner of the Ultimate Supermarket Lager Championship. And the winner of the Ultimate Supermarket Lager Championship is the Augustiner Edelstoff. So there we go. Do I have a soundbite of applause to put in there? I don't know. If I did, then you will hear it. Yes, what can I say? The Augustiner Edelstoff, the Augustiner Lager Beer Hell. Yes, well, there you go. It's got the reputation it has for a reason. I got more bored with the Lowenbrau than I did with this. This one, while at first it wasn't quite giving me possibly what I wanted, or no, I won't say that. It was totally giving me what I wanted. Both beers were totally giving me what I wanted. But as I got further down, as I got towards the end, as I started thinking which of these beers would I rather have next, this was the one I just kept going back to. And it's interesting to do that, to live with these beers for a while and to decide. Yeah, it's interesting, it's still refreshing, it doesn't taste dirty at all, it's amazing. This one is the Lowenbrau. It's a little bit sweeter. Oh, it's still got still an amazing, it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart, Lowenbrau, to knock you out, but it's because you're so good. They're both so good. They're both amazing. They really are. You know, I mean, the temptation wouldn't be now to do a second place playoff with this against the The Ahinger. But there's no way. There's no way the Ahinger's going to beat this. Let's face it, I'm going to have to do that, aren't I? We could do that. I mean, I'd say all three of these better than Starapramen. So I could do a Lowenbrau Ahinger for the second place. But is that going to happen? I mean, you know, I don't know, really. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. Let's face it. I was just trying to think back to the Supermarket Lager Championship now, which came second, the Singha. Oh yeah, I did the Singha, didn't I, against the Kronbacher, and that still beat the Kronbacher, even though I thought the Kronbacher was gonna beat that. This one, should I put it up against the Ahinger, just so it can beat it? I don't know, really. I'm confident enough in what I know to know that this is the second best beer of the lot. There is nothing in this half of the table that came close to the Lowenbrau, I don't think. Even the Ahinger, really. It's done. I mean, even then, just tasting the beers again, that Lowenbrau is so good. It's like they were both really good. It was just towards the end of that, then I was getting a little bit sick of the Lowenbrau. This one, I wasn't getting sick of it. I could drink pint after pint of this, and it would just be as interesting, I think. And I think that's it. That's all that swung it. That's all that swings these things. It's such a close championship. There we go. I possibly won't get any hate now. Crowning this as the ultimate supermarket lager. The ultimate supermarket lager. Yeah, if you can get this, at the booths, then absolutely amazing. I think it's $2.95 a bottle. But you'll be able to get it in most bottle shops. You know, you can get it all over. Really, it's such an amazing beer. Augustiner Lagerbeer Hell. The ultimate supermarket lager. This has gone on far too long. What can I say? Should I do another taste test? I don't know. Any more championships? I'm thinking of doing a budget lager championship, really getting all the really rubbish ones and see what's the better out of those. No idea whether that's going to happen. I don't know. But anyway, thank you very much for watching this far. Thanks for bearing with me. Thank you for joining me on this momentous occasion. And until next time, have a good one.